First of all, great that you come here. I saw lots of problem solvers. I think we can tackle any challenge together here. And thank you also for investing your time, because time is the only resource you can't refill. You can earn money, but you can't refill your time. So I started thinking about ideal speech on the TRIZ summit, and what I am thinking right now is that ideal speech on TRIZ summit is a speech which is absent, actually, yeah? But the function should be saved. Yeah, a few words about myself. So I'm have 13 years in IT industry. CEO of a few companies. First is CEO of Banuba Augmented Reality startup. Then I am working in 2 companies as a CEO and a head of development related to the financial markets and trading and all other stuff. So, and today I would like to talk about innovations in FinTech, as Valery mentioned, and to introduce some ground here. I would like to make some kind of a definition. So FinTech, with the help of technology, is some kind of an industry with the help of technology which competes with traditional financial world and traditional financial methods, and competes with how financial services is delivered to end users. With recent years, you can see the rise of lots of FinTech companies, and what we have at the end of the day is that the world of finance become more transparent, become more accessible, become more useful for consumers, and which is great. Based on my experience working in FinTech for a few years, it has lots of inventive problems, and the solutions for them lay in the intersection of usually several things, like technology, like legal stuff, like user experience, and finance as usual. So you can't tackle challenging finance problem thinking only inside one box. Yeah, so, and I will talk about one of my companies called Currency.com, world first tokenized securities exchange, and on its example, I will go over a few of the problems we solved, and as a second part of my speech, I will tell you my experience of our company, how we launched really new product to the market, which didn't exist before. So, what's the problem, what's the context? So if to think about financial world and traditional finance, this is actually the great thing, because it gives you, it gave actually decentralized way of voting and assessing whether, for example, particular product of the company brings real value. So if the shares of the company grow, it means that clients and let's say audience believe in the success of this company, believe in their product, and so this is some kind of a decentralized way to vote and to bring cheap finance to the company. And so we observed that how successful it is in the open economies during the past century. But what we have right now is the rise of completely new thing with development of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. It gives another level of decentralization when, for example, there is no way to impact the system and to make some kind of a penetration by governments and by other third parties, as everything is on the blockchain. But what is the challenge here is that right now we have 2 separate worlds. World of traditional finance, world of digital currencies. And when we did some kind of a design thinking and observing what happened here, except of the real facts that, for example, even some liquid cryptocurrencies, we all know like Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can't trade with them on the traditional financial markets. But they have quite high capitalization, and already by analysts, there are already about 30 million people who are using the blockchain wallets already. And when we go to the huge crypto investors, they say, yeah, we have a bunch of wealth in cryptocurrencies, but we are really tired from investing into scamming ICOs. And if you look at the portfolio available on the market in crypto exchanges, like almost 90% of the coins there are already dead, and another 10% are like extremely liquid, and there are lots of pumps and dumps, and you can't really think whether what is the factors which depend on the performance of particular coin. But anyway, these crypto investors, and what we observe that crypto investors have majority. The problem is that they have lots of funds in crypto which they ready to invest, but they have no opportunity to invest because like traditional financial market doesn't allow it. Yeah, and yeah, that's what I said already, that the traditional financial markets are unavailable. But with currency.com, with the release of it, we gave crypto owners the choice, and now they are ready to invest crypto, staying in crypto, and trade like equities and, for example, gold, oil, as other investors, which also another thread of funding for like good projects, good companies. How we achieved it actually? We achieved it through introduction of tokenized securities. So this is some kind of a, so what's tokenized security you can read on the slide. So this is some kind of a token which through the smart contract stick to the price of underlying asset. But if to think about it, is that some kind of a wrapper, or speaking about if you want to see what's the TRIZ principle in here, you probably can look at the matryoshka principle, yeah, when for example, Apple stock has a blockchain representation with tokenized security called apple.cx. Yeah, so this is how it works. So you stay in crypto, you come to the currency.com, either with crypto or either with fiat, and you can trade like stocks, you can trade, as I said, other assets from financial markets, and it's already more than 1,000 of it. And so we do, as a currency.com, we are bridge between the traditional finance world to the digital currencies world right now. So, for example, as I already mentioned, you come with crypto and fiat. The guys buy tokenized security. Then, as it's all there, the system is fully connected. So, with the help of like financial partners, we do some kind of a conversion of all the trades to the hedging platforms. And so this is at the end of the day, it is the real stock or a real like position on some trading platform. But for the end user, you just come, you see currency.com, you think that Facebook stocks will go up, you make a trade using your Bitcoin or Ethereum, and gain or like own all the economical result of this trade. Another problem is that what we realized after the release is that crypto traders are like fond of risk and have already habits to some kind of more volatile markets. for this purpose, we offered leverage when we lend the clients more tokens on the trade, and their crypto and let's say fiat are some kind of a collateral, and the trading becomes much more funny, and yeah. So a few things here is that we built a bridge, and with the help of the resource existed in two systems, we built some kind of a wrapper called tokenized security, which connects two worlds. Yeah. So because investment is like really great, and we gave opportunity for another dozens of millions people who were not able to be connected to financial world to be connected to it. And the second thing is also there are some obligations, regulatory obligations, which don't allow you to trade because you, for example, from particular country or so. Yeah. Another thing what I would like to mention is like how did we launch this product, because we had some signals, we did some testing that there is some demand in it, but you never know what will be the demand before you like launch it to like public. The challenges stand before us is that we had quite heterogeneous audiences. So we had the generic traders who knows what financial markets are, how to trade on them, and it's fine. So like traditional traders, we had crypto traders, crypto investors, and we had people who had desire to invest but never did it before because had no opportunity geographically wise and, as I said, legal wise. You know, there are lots of, we definitely were sure that there is a pain and our solution, we resolve it, but you never know how people will perceive your product, as it's like quite new experience. And so usually it is good to, let's say, yeah, so this is what dilemma we had. So we had to launch it to public, and at the same time we were not sure in our user experience. So if we launch it to public and make big release in the first day, we can receive very negative feedback, which will ruin all the, let's say, good value we planned to bring. Also, we decided not to, how to make it in the way to test the demand without investment money to marketing. And another challenge is just operational thing. We didn't know the demand, that's why we don't know what the size of back office and support team we should have. So what we did, we released the product in closed beta, and so shared first invite codes to the product among the influencers, among people who understand financial markets, who are also deeply in crypto world, and communicated with them that let's implement this product together. We are really value their UX feedback. So as a result, there were lots of feedback and lots of honest feedback, but there were no negative attitude to the product, because the guys understand that it's really new, and they wanted to participate in this evolution in finance. Another thing is that to resolve the second problem and understand whether the product is really demanding is usually how to measure it, is how many users of your current product will will bring, how many referrals they will bring to your product. So the power of word of mouth. So we also issued some kind of a invite codes to the audience. And here is the result. In 2 weeks, we had about 150,000 accounts in the queue. And what we did already is that when the queue started growing, so we started knowing that this is really in demand in particular geographies. This is what we for example, customer support we need. For example, we need like Asian languages, we need like German languages. Depending on the geographies, the clients came to us. But second thing is that there were possibility to pass the queue if you send these invites. And so the people in the queue became some kind of a source of marketing for us. So they started inviting new people, and we had already we had a product, and we have already more than 100,000 of interested users in it. And if you send, the more invite codes you send, you receive some kind of a priority pass, and you can come to the platform faster. And also, as I said, we tried to, we had time, and closed beta lasted for 3 months. So we had time to improve user experience, as the feedback from the users were fully under control, as we know whom we give access to the platform, and they left their feedback through their channels inside the platform. So that was really exciting period. As a conclusion, I should say that in FinTech, usually if you work with particular inventive problems, you should understand the whole context and the whole environment around your business. So you should do the component analysis, you should think about super system, you should think about subsystem, and among you, obviously, the resources which will help you to resolve the problem which exists in financial world already for dozens of years. So think out of the box, as famous people say. So thank you. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. That's a very interesting talk, and we don't see many applications of TRIZ in FinTech, for example. So that's a rather unique case, and it was very interesting to see how the ideas of TRIZ can be applied to solve problems in FinTech. Okay, questions, please? Anybody? I understand that not many people here are engaged to FinTech, but who knows?
Yes, please. Можно и на русском, наверное.
Да, на русском можно. Вопросы? Да, пожалуйста, Кирилл.
Добрый день. Я не с финтека сам, но у меня вопрос. Вот по поводу вашего токена, который посередине. Можно ли с помощью этого токена гарантировать, что монета не есть скамом, что монета есть ли какая-то проверка безопасности? Или просто не совсем понимаю суть этого токена, который посередине. Это для проверки именно, чтобы обеспечить, что эта монета как бы authentic, то есть не скам, либо это еще для чего-то? Просто не совсем понял.
Окей, вопрос понятен. Могу по-русски ответить или по-английски?
Конечно, конечно.
Суть какая, что тут мы работаем исключительно с токенами, которые являются репрезентацией уже существующих рынков. То есть акции Facebook, акции Apple. Да, мы просто токенизируем эти акции. То есть через смарт-контракт привязываем экономический результат акции, например, какой-нибудь из финансового мира, к вот этому токену. То есть покупая токен, юзер имеет все те же возможности, как, допустим, человек, который покупает акцию Apple.
То есть, она каким-то образом, что ли, более защищена, чем акция Apple?
А тут вопрос не в безопасности, а вопрос в, скажем так, в возможностностях. Например, что когда мы покупаем акцию,
все, понятно,
ты вступаешь в большую цепочку, да, здесь. Еще важная вещь, правильный вопрос тут затронут по безопасности, то, что все цены идут на блокчейне и нельзя сманипулировать рынком. То есть ты всегда знаешь, что тебя исполнили по правильной и честной цене.
Да, понятно, спасибо. Пожалуйста.
Так или так? Скажите, а какие основные противоречия решали? Потому что мне этого в докладе не хватило. Задачи, может, более такие конкретные, потому что, в общем, было понятно.
На самом деле противоречий там несколько. Например, если уже говорить про запуск продукта, то это, например, нам нужно запустить продукт, получить отзывы по user experience, и при этом нам не нужно запускать продукт, потому что мы не уверены, что user experience, он уже, потому что запустив продукт, мы получим много негативного фидбэка, например, на такой базе. Решили, говорю, что запустили, по сути, погрузили наш environment в такую, среду, где закрытая бета, когда мы, например, очень дозированно получаем этот фидбэк и полностью видим пользователей, которые нам этот фидбэк дают, и работаем с ними. Цели, то есть хочу сказать тоже, мы не сидели, не решали конкретно по TRIZ задачи, да? То есть, тут очевидно видны задачи, например, что, криптотрейдеры имеют, скажем так, фонды, имеют деньги, но и хотят инвестировать, но не могут инвестировать, потому что у них нет доступа к финансовому рынку. Поэтому мы тогда для них, по сути, сделали штуку, которая интерфейс для них, этот токен, это штука из диджитал мира, да, представление. А внутри этого токена идет привязка к инструменту из традиционного финансового мира. То есть, если так взять отсылку к принципам TRIZ, то тут очень много можно, посмотреть. Тут разбор.
Спасибо. Michael?
Thanks. Yeah, hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Great presentation. So, two-part question. The first part is that 150K of the user base that you signed up, is that sort of the early that first group of early adopters, or is that kind of taking you into the early majority? Like, have you guys crossed that chasm yet? And then that flows into part two, which is how do you monetize your service? So the 150K that sign up, is there an application fee, or do you guys actually just collect revenue based on the fee for the trade or something like that? I'm just wondering if you guys have started to hit that curve now where you're seeing the revenue coming in from that group. Does that make sense?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, business model is quite simple. It's like commission from trades, and we have some kind of a leverage part on our exchange where you pay overnight fees if you hold your exposure overnight. Yeah, so depending on trading volume, we just get the commissions. So 150K is like users in the queue. Obviously, there are some conversion, which so not all the users were converted to real traders, but we received dozens of thousands of real traders out of them, and they already generate revenue and generate trading volume for us.
Perhaps I could add a little bit. The Michael question was, if you look the line of dissipation of innovation, first there are early adopters, those who buy everything, doesn't matter. So the question, I guess, was those 150K, where they are. In the beginning, or it's already there?
The interesting thing that there were not only early adopters, there were a bunch of conservators who left also some negative feedback. But the thing is that we have a system where our customer support understand from which group this particular client and start giving them better service. So for example, if they're a conservator and we know this is a very experienced trader, so we get feedback from them and validate whether their suggestions are good or not, and either implement it or communicate with them why, for example, this is not applicable for such kind of product, because their suggestions are a little bit from the past, from the traditional finance world, and that this is not the product for traditional finance, which is the majority of them. But the interesting thing that not only early adopters came, we felt some kind of a delayed demand in it. So, for example, there were lots of people came from Belarus because traditional financial markets are not really accessible in Belarus, for example. And with this service, it's very easy.
All right, thank you. And the last question, is there any? Then I will ask last question. We have 30 seconds.
Cool.
So what's your feeling? Because you are an expert in money, in fintech, in finance. Does TRIZ really have any value for future developments in fintech industry? What's your opinion?
My opinion is that TRIZ and actually system thinking and as I said already, the methods of and principles of TRIZ helps to push the fintech to new level, because the current financial world is very bureaucratic, very old-fashioned, and there are lots of opportunities and there are lots of inventive problems inside. Not only in trading, but just in money transfer, in resolving problems, for example, with commissions. Another applicability of this, just a few words, I can say, for example, the real example, when you want to send, for example, money from UK, let's say, to Belarus, you can't just send them directly. There is a chain of banks under your pass. So, for example, you should, and in one of these, on this pass, there should bank where your bank from Belarus and bank from UK should have accounts. And then there is an exchange and send your money. So at the end of the day, when you send, for example, thousands of dollars or thousands of pounds, you receive 950 due to the fees and commissions. With evolution of penetration of digital world into this world of finance, you have, for example, stable coin called USD CX, and you just exchange it between two parties, and you already receive the money you have with 100 times less commission than it is right now. So the speed of everything will become quicker. So TRIZ obviously will help in it. And actually, lots of opportunities here can be tackled by just working with operational zone, operational time, with resources, and not with ARIS 85V.
Thank you very much. All right, Dmitry, thank you for very interesting and rather new talk for this audience, definitely.
Thank you, pleasure
Thank
for me.
you.
Thank you, everybody.